right, everybody. Welcome back to the Dane Wayne Show.
Episode 27.
27, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Summertime summer's on the horizon.
Slow going. Yeah, Friday, right?
48. Yeah. Summertime starts on Friday.
Feels like it's
Amazon rainforesty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody out there in the Delaware Valley, you walked outside to just a brick wall of humidity today.
Just like, what?
And your windshield fogged up immediately as soon as you got out of the garage.
I feel like it was like 59 or 60 on Monday.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Hey, we didn't see the sun since Thursday.
Yeah, last Wednesday or
nice.
Thursday.
Yeah, that was a nice day.
We don't like that around here in the Northeast, but it's part of the climate.
We live
around
here, so we can't really complain.
It's part of the climate.
If we hated it that much, we would move.
I'd move south.
Yeah, no, we're fine. It's good. We like the seasons up here.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
My daughter was talking about that today. She's like, "We can't move to Florida. It's always summer there."
Is it though?
I'd miss wintertime, and I'm like, no.
No one misses. You know what? There's the person that's like, yes, I miss winter, but we don't.
Because maybe they ski or something. I don't know. I always wanted to get into like a winter sport to make me like winter more, and couldn't do it.
I'm tropical, Wayne.
Yeah.
You know something out of that.
We know that.
I tolerate them 90 days of winter, but nope.
Yeah.
Anything else.
Absolutely. So anyway, we got some Phils to talk about, some Sixers. You're all Sixered out today.
I do. Draft, is around the corner.
Yeah,
I want to touch on my yeah, we'll talk a little bit of Sixers.
What, your predictions?
Predictions, the franchise going in the wrong direction, and management, draft picks.
All the clickbait articles that
I
keep
scrolling and sending to you, and you're like, yo, Dane, stop clicking on that.
Stop.
This is not true, Dane. Not because it's on the internet means it's true.
They're going to trade Paul George for the number 1 overall pick.
And a bag of...
And Wemby. And, yeah, it's going to be great.
And the other team's most injured athlete is what the Sixers would ask for. So tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
Oh,
but,
man.
Yeah. So what do you want to lean into first?
Now, let's just talk about the Phils a little bit. I know they had a little bit of a hiccup last night.
Yes.
But, they've been surging lately. They won. They swept the series in the weekend, and before that had a couple nice wins. So it seemed like they're resurging a little bit.
Right before that, though, we were in that. I almost feel like it's deja vu to the Eagles season, and it's not though because of where they are win total wise, and you can't equate it to a football season, but just the level of animosity towards the team, the level of animosity towards the manager. Get rid of this player. Yeah. I mean, Thompson did something yesterday, which has been talked about now for the last 24 to 48 hours, where he benched Castellano. How do you feel about that?
Well, you just feel like he never does anything like that.
No.
So it must have been pretty bad, whatever happened.
He had more than a few choice 4-letter words for his manager, which I don't condone. Do not, I'm just saying.
No, we don't tell our boss what's up. No, that's a highway to getting fired.
If you want to tell your boss what's up, you go directly to your boss and say, hey, this is, even then,
Even then it's tough.
So,
yeah,
but
better off just saying it to your wife and not saying it to your boss.
I hear you. For reals.
But yeah, I mean, they're hitting well tonight. I think they're up 4-1 right now as of this filming. So
Ranger gave up a sloppy home run, which he instantly shook his head.
That was a shot. That was a shot and a half to center field.
Yeah, but he instantly was like pissed about it, and then he struck out the side.
Yeah.
Or struck out 2 batters after. So we're just looking for them to keep winning 2 out of 3. I mean, who's on the horizon this weekend? The
Mets.
Trusty Mets.
I've enjoyed watching them lose.
Good old New York is right around the corner.
They lost in spectacular fashion last night.
Yep.
In extras and Soto got doubled off by Acuna.
Yes.
At the wall. And Soto's looking around like, what just happened?
Acuna's actually looking pretty
good in right field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From coming back off of that injury and just getting right back into it. So. Yeah. Braves are the Braves are pretty far back though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not far back
like
compared
6 games back or something.
All right. So they're still in arm's reach of how much season is left.
Yeah, of course. They
But yeah,
go on a run just like the Mets did last year.
so
But yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. There's a couple of roster decisions that are going to have to be made at some point with Bryce. Well, when Bryce comes back, what do you do with Otto Kemp? He's been hitting the ball like crazy, tearing the cover off the ball. I would assume they try to put him in left field and have Weston Wilson go back down. I mean, Bryson Stott is looking terrible. He's hitting like 1 something.
Is he hurt though? Something's not right.
Seems like it.
Something seems like either a hand or an ankle or something just doesn't seem right with Stott. Even though he hit a home run this afternoon or this evening, but he's been inconsistent for at least 3 weeks now.
Somebody had put on social media that he's Freddie Galvis with a cool walk-up song.
Damn.
I found that pretty funny, to be honest.
That's cold. Why you gonna go there? Freddie Galvis? Wow, Bryson's all right.
I didn't say it.
No, it's funny.
It is. I enjoyed it. But yeah, him and then, Mick Abel's been pitching really well.
Yeah.
And when Nola comes back, which doesn't seem like it's going to be anytime soon.
Nola's hurt, man.
He is hurt.
He's got like ribs hurt. And you're not going to, I heard his time frame, or when they asked him, he was like, I don't know. Yeah. And then I think on Monday you heard like September or like late August.
I heard 2 months, yeah.
That's 2 months of not throwing a baseball. Is he going to be able to, I don't want to use this term, but ramp up?
He'll be back for the postseason. Just got to ramp up. Yep.
Throw myself in the hole. Just throw me in the garbage if I use the word ramping up. All right.
Yeah, but you mentioned the bullpen. Bullpen's definitely something that needs to be monitored. I think they're going to be players at the trade deadline. They're going to have to get something for the back end. You can't count on Strom or Romano or.
No.
I mean, Kirkring had a save the other night, but he's up and down too.
Kirking's like this. Yeah. There's no consistency with him.
Yeah.
You want him to take that spot, but for some reason, every 2 steps he takes a couple back, is what you see with Kirkring. And he has the talent. Right. It's not, it's not that it's not, the talent's not there. It's there.
That's a story of the entire bullpen.
So,
step forward and 2 steps back. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But, I think they're going to get somebody at the deadline. And I think Kemp's going to stay up.
Okay.
They're going to send Wilson back down.
All right.
And I don't know. Maybe Bryce goes to right field and Castellanos left field.
How soon is Bryce on the mend to come back? Is that?
I really haven't heard much.
No, they're keeping that real quiet.
He didn't travel to Miami with them.
Okay.
To stay back and do some work. So at least that means he's getting in the cage, doing some work, doing some getting some swings in. But I don't know. I don't know what that means for timeline.
All right. So then, best case scenario, do you see him before 4th of July, you think, or no?
Hard to say.
Okay.
But, I'd say that's, 2 weeks away?
Yeah.
2 weeks from Friday, so
maybe. Possibly. All right. Does anyone else have some choice words for the manager? Like, does that resurface? Because that, for like we said, or like you just said to me, for Thompson to make a move like that, Thompson never makes a move like that. And he had to say the most not ridiculous, but just some super slick stuff for your boss to be like, you know what? You've got a 200 games played streak, and you're going to sit down today because you can't say that to me.
Yeah.
And would it have been different? Would Thompson have benched him if he just went in his office and said, yo, man,
no,
this is how I feel about this?
Absolutely not.
All right. Okay.
That's how men handle their business, right? You go talk to the person.
Right.
And say, hey, this is what's up. This is what you said. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate you taking me out. Or even asking the question, why'd you take me out? But they're baseball players. In the moment, he's pissed. I get it,
There's a section of the fan base, though, that is
pro Castellanos.
Yeah. How do you? Because when I saw that, I'm like, is that? Because I wouldn't do that. You said to me, yo, I'm not gonna do that. So that person that's like, yo, Castellanos should have gave him, the double bird and made him like.
Well, those are the angry Negadelphians.
I
Those are
got
the
you. I
guys
got you.
that-
No, you.
They don't handle their business correctly in their lives, so they're going to be just like that. They're going to think Castellanos should just
Should have give him a piece of his mind.
I
No,
mean, what's the end game there?
there's no.
Exactly.
It's a
You're
lose-lose.
not coming back.
It's a lose-lose.
So what happened. I applaud Topper for taking some action.
I agree.
It seemed to make a difference because Castellanos came back and apologized and whatever.
Well,
so.
what they were, because when Kepler dropped that
Yeah.
ball last night,
Oh, of course.
it was like
Castellanos would have caught that.
that's what it was. It was like a celebration.
Yeah, making him
But,
seem like this
like,
gold
yes.
glove right fielder. Come on.
Kepler's not.
It's always an adventure with that guy. I mean, he makes it look so awkward. Like Castellanos trying to get to the warning track. He's like turning all around and he's like, "Oh yeah, found it."
Yeah.
Okay. It's nothing smooth out there for him, so you can't make him seem like this gold glover. I don't know. That was ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it figures that something that would happen.
Well, somebody, who did it say? Ricky Batalico said that when you put yourself in a situation like that, he referred to it as ugly baseball, like the ball is going to find you.
Yeah.
And I mean, we played sports, if you're not confident in yourself, the ball's going to be like, oh, you're going to make that mistake.
Right.
And you saw Kepler, he owned it and said, yo, I lost it in the lights, but you were like, oh God, come on, just make the play. You're a pro baseball player, make the play.
There was a lot of glare going on because there was only about 500 people at the game. So all the seats were glaring, all the lights.
Did you hear the person scream free Casty?
Yes, of course. You can hear anything that anybody says because there's nobody there. I mean, I understand.
That's yo, who said that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny.
I get it. Across town, there's a Stanley Cup final game going on where they can clinch, which they did last night. Shout out to the Panthers. I actually watched that whole game last night.
Nice.
I haven't watched a hockey game maybe all season,
and
I watched that one.
Nah, the NHL playoffs is good. It's quality hockey, man. I don't watch a lot of hockey, but I will watch playoff hockey. So I absolutely salute you. Or
the worst part was Kenny Albert. As soon as I heard Kenny Albert was the one announcing, I was like, come on. He's been finally demoted enough that he doesn't do many Eagles games.
Right.
But gosh, he's the worst. I can't stand him.
Nah, certain people's voices on the announcement you can do without. So
yeah, it was Dick Stockton before that.
Okay.
I couldn't stand. I mean, he was a legend. Back. You look at there's some YouTube channels out there that have old Eagles games from the 80s and 90s, and you hear Dick Stockton, and you're like, okay, he was around forever. And
I
he was doing
mean,
it.
from the 80s, that's 70s, 80s. That's
So yeah, the man, he was great at one point, but man, when we got into it in the 90s, 2000s, it had passed him by, and it was pretty bad. Anyway, don't mean to take some shots at Dick Stockton here.
No,
that's not why we're here.
No, we are. What else are we?
Well, let's get into the Sixers. Let's talk a little bit about the draft.
Ask me some questions, and I'll give you honest opinions on how I'm feeling. Let me hear it.
Are they going to draft for upside, or are they going to draft to win now?
Win now.
Okay. So that means it's either VJ Edgecombe or Trey Johnson.
Okay.
Is there another option? Is there somebody else that's a win now pick? Those are the two best scorers.
Harper's not
outside
a
of
possibility.
Harper. No, he's going second.
You know it. You know that for a fact.
Well, no.
What if the universe just makes it that that's not gonna happen? I'm sorry. I can't even pretend. Look at your face.
No.
You're like, no, that's not happening.
I just don't see it happening.
I hear you.
They've been the consensus one too.
Okay.
Flag and Harper for the longest time.
No, you're not wrong. I'm pissed at the Sixers because I've watched OKC trade away 3 Hall of Fame players, rebuild it, and they're about to win a title. And when you watch that and just medical staff reason, front office reason, life reason, just every single time, the Sixers just get it wrong. Dana Barrow, Sharon Wright, Sean Bradley.
Jeez.
You know
We're going back.
I can go back.
Yeah.
I've watched
Keith Van Horn.
I've watched a lot of Sixer basketball.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it's
they drafted. Who'd they draft in trade for Keith Van Horn? Was it Kerry Kittles?
yeah.
They drafted Kerry Kittles.
I think that sounds
traded
right.
for Keith Van Horn.
I think that sounds right. I could be
Him
wrong,
and
but
his
I really think you're right. Yeah.
Keith Van Horn is knee socks.
Yo,
Gosh.
Keith Van Horn had a sick jumper. What was his coach again from Utah, man? Oh my goodness, I remember that.
Testing my knowledge there. I have no idea.
I wish I could remember.
Yeah.
Yo, if you remember the coach from Utah that was coaching Keith Van Horn, like message me or comment, leave a message. I can't remember his name, but Ace Bailey's not on the board, or
No, I'm saying he's the upside pick.
okay.
If you're saying win now, then they're going for VJ or Trey Johnson.
All right, okay.
I don't know. I don't see anybody else sneaking into the top 5.
No.
Those are the guys. I think Flag, Harper, and then you've got, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, VJ Edgecombe. I've seen Trey Johnson slipping, but I don't know. I feel like he's just such a polished scorer. He shoots better than anybody else.
That's available that you've seen in the college
almost
game.
40% from 3, which isn't spectacular by any means, but it's better than anybody else.
And then if you're making that pick, is 21 healthy? Is Podcast P healthy?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know. We have no idea, but we feel like it's probably going to be a win now pick, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they have to do.
So basically, that means we're in purgatory then.
With all the decisions they've made up until now, they have to do win now. I want them to take upside. I want Ace Bailey.
Okay.
He's got the highest ceiling and the lowest floor of anybody.
Okay.
So he could be a complete bust. He
Or
could be a
the man.
superstar.
Or
Who
he
knows?
could be the man.
He's one of the best scorers in this draft, last draft, probably next draft.
Is he too immature though at 18 years old?
Probably, yeah.
Right. Every 18-year-old
But
is immature.
Joel's not going to let that. I couldn't even finish the sentence. I almost treated Joel like a leader on the team.
Yo, who did the interview? Somebody did the interview with Charles Barkley that I sent to you, where he was like, I've had 2 conversations with Joel since he's been in the NBA, and as a leader of Charles Barkley knows the Philadelphia landscape.
Yeah.
Julius Erving knows the Philadelphia sports landscape. You're a young man in a big city as a pro athlete. Wouldn't you want to, I don't know, pick somebody's brain as, yo, how do I go about doing this? Not that you're trying to latch onto them, but don't you want some insight from, somebody who's been there, done that?
Of course.
All right. Okay, so 21.
Pick up the phone.
Pick up.
I don't know who he's taking advice from, but it's not
From
right
Chick-fil-A.
people. Yeah.
Nugget sauce is who he's taking it from. And eating milkshakes. No. He's worked on his diet. He's worked on his conditioning.
Yep,
I'm not going to
absolutely.
clown him on that anymore. That was, I would say that was a younger Joel. He's slightly.
I'm not convinced. But, no, I think Maxi's more of a leader on this
He
team
is.
at this point.
He is.
He's going to be the one that's going to get Ace Bailey in the gym. And
But that's what Barkley said.
yeah.
Barkley said, and Doc said that the same thing, that if you are going to pick out a leader in this squad, it's going to be Maxey. And how does that make you feel that you've been here, what has he been here, 10 years? 8 years Joel's been here?
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, man. I feel like that train has left the station, and the fan base is just finished with 21. And I don't, unless Joel is playing, can he play 70 games next year? Can he play 60 games next year?
I'd say 50 is probably the over-under.
All right, Philadelphia. Are you satisfied with Joel Embiid playing 50 games this year? And if Joel Embiid plays 50 games, where does that leave him?
He'd have to win 90% of his games,
Okay.
the games he plays. I mean,
Yo, Brick got the analytics chart,
but
man.
even at that point, it's 45 games, right, at 90%. So they're going 500. So who knows?
All right.
I'm not saying they're losing every game.
No, because
But-
Maxey going to come out the ball. McCain, I feel, is a dog.
That's
PG, PG's got old knees, man.
Yeah.
And I want him to be okay, but yeah. I don't know where. I feel like PG is Tobias 2.0. And that's, I hate to say that.
We've said that too much. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
It's like, how did I get here? It's Groundhog Day. But, yeah.
So we're thinking win now. We're thinking, I mean, if in that case, I'd take VJ.
Okay.
Even though Trey Johnson's the more polished shooter, VJ has a little bit more upside from an athletic perspective. He's taller. You see some of the highlights, and he just jumps out of the gym.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough call, but
when is the draft? Next Thursday?
Next Thursday, yeah.
All right. Yeah. You see, I got my 1983 last time we won a championship shirt on, so I'm holding out hope, Sixers. 21. I need you to get back right. I need you to play 60 games.
At least. Yeah.
I'm gonna put a parlay together of Joel Embiid over games played.
Over, huh?
Over 60 games. I can't say that. You know what I mean? It's like
that's gonna be like a plus 800, plus 1,000 for him to play over 60 games. Do you think anybody would actually even?
I ain't taking that bet.
I might even be low. It might be like plus 2,000.
Wow.
I mean, the chances of him playing 60 games or more
is. I hear you. I told you I talked to the guy at the pizza shop, to get a slice today, and he was like, yo, you're a real Sixer fan. You got your gear on, and I just smiled because I'm like, yeah, I am. Yep. He's like, don't give up hope, man. It's gonna turn around. And tell me, Philadelphia, when is it gonna turn around for basketball here, man? So. They're about to break out the
old black,
from 2001.
Sully those.
I'm annoyed because that little moment in time, I loved basketball then. But that's cherished in like Philadelphia. No, they got beat down by Kobe and Shaq in the finals. But I know you remember that game one.
Of course.
Okay. So
it's the only one I do remember.
Don't tarnish those black shirts, Sixers. Don't tarnish them. Just for the sale of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have good memories in 01, but how much longer did they wear them? Till like 07, 08?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty bad in those years.
They were.
So I think they've already been tarnished a little bit.
They were.
We're holding them up on this pedestal a little bit. And
83. 83.
And that's why they went back to the old blue and
they
wanted
to just rinse. They wanted
to go back to the 83 era
when they won a title.
You know which ones I want? The 90s with the stars going up.
That is, I thought that they lost a lot in those, but if they actually wanted to sell something, they could release those and that would sell.
It would.
So
I think of Clarence Weatherspoon.
Clarence Weatherspoon and Dana Barrows. Yeah. I watched Sixers basketball.
Oh gosh.
All right.
Yeah.
But
I went to the Spectrum a lot as a kid, and I saw a lot of those games.
Got my Spectrum socks on.
Nice. Oh man,
that's too much. It's too much.
Yep.
But
so you want to talk about the NBA Finals? You mentioned OKC.
I mean, I took OKC 4-2. I'm going to stand on that. I wanted the upset of the Pacers win, but from watching what's going on, OKC, the Pacers lost the series on Friday night.
Yeah. When
they had the 10-point lead, and they could have put their foot, on OKC and completely stomped them out, and they gave them life, and Shea was spinning left, turning right, looking, doing all types of stuff. So I think unless something crazy drastic happens tomorrow, which I don't think Halliburton should play on that strained calf, and
he's going to.
I know he's going to,
especially after what came out today about Matthew Tkachuk from the Panthers playing with a torn adductor. And
all right, so
I saw a tweet today. It was about, or post, whatever they call him now.
Yeah.
Matthew Tkachuk, the guy that he scored a goal last night for the Panthers. Probably one of the most recognizable names there.
Yeah.
And he had a hernia and a torn adductor.
Oh.
And played through the whole
playoffs?
Basically most of the playoffs.
Wow.
Then somebody contrasted that to Paul George sitting out for 2 weeks with a pinky finger. injury on his non-shooting hand. He's just like, yep.
No, I'm done. I don't want to comment on that.
But I think Halliburton's going to play. I think he's going to play through it.
You're right. You are accurate. He playing. He playing tomorrow.
Gotta hold that.
Don't get injured tomorrow. I don't want to see him bust his Achilles, and I don't want to see him tear his calf.
I don't either.
That's all. If he plays through it and he makes it through the game, so be it. But he's definitely playing after you just made that comparison.
Yep.
Paul, how you... All right. Yeah. OKC's going to take care of business. What do we want to transition to? I can't even keep a straight face.
I know. I mean, we had Father's Day. How was your Father's Day?
Oh, my goodness.
It was dreary here, so we didn't do much.
No, I think wife definitely made it an amazing Father's Day. We went to SneakerCon the weekend before.
Oh, yeah.
I picked up a couple things that I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And Father's Day was good. There was some moments in there which I discussed with you.
Yeah.
But no, Father's Day was my mom came over, everybody. I felt the love and the brotherhood with the dads on on Father's Day.
Good.
So
yeah,
good.
like I said, low key. I mean, would have been nice to get outside a little bit.
It was the coldest Father's Day in 40 years in Philadelphia. Like any Father's Day that I've been, present, I feel like it's been 85 degrees and sunny, or at least 75. But no, it was Philadelphia. It was 65.
Yep.
So
perfect. Yeah, I mean, it's been ridiculous lately. Just with, like I said earlier, I hadn't seen the sun since last Thursday, and I was at the beach last weekend, and the fog rolled in on Friday night, and you couldn't see more than half a block in front of you. It was nuts.
So there was no beach time then?
No. I mean, I went Thursday.
Okay.
I got there Thursday afternoon, went Thursday, and that was nice. But yeah, the sun went away and never came back.
And never came back out. So pretty much, well, you know what? We're about to get the sun full blast the next 6 days.
It's 90 tomorrow.
It's about to officially be summer, 90 in the shade, and yeah,
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
I heard your pool's pretty warm.
It's about 90. My wife. Yo, I asked her to turn. I'm like, yo. Yeah, it's like bath water.
Yep.
So
I know mine's freezing. Mine's like 75.
I'll come over to your house and use the cold tub.
Yeah, there you go. It takes a few minutes to get used to it, but if you jump in, that's better because then you just get used to it immediately.
You can't wade in.
No.
You'll be so mad at yourself.
Absolutely not. But yeah, got any shows you're watching?
White Lotus season 3.
Oh, yeah,
my wife
catching
got
up on
me. We did season 1, season 2, and the past couple nights she's had me. Yeah, I think we're on episode 4 or 5 of season 3. Which when you watch that show, if anybody's watched that show, man, the comparisons in the cinematography, the lighting, like what's actually going on, you're like, I understand this.
Yeah, Mike White's a genius.
So
it's amazing that, I mean, they gave him the keys to make that show.
Yeah.
And he did fantastically with it. I mean, he wasn't really known for much. He was a writer, and he had done School of Rock with Jack Black back in the day. But I mean, for him to take on this series, he's writing it, directing it, and I mean, it's great.
When I first read the reviews on season 3, it almost made me not want to keep watching, even though I watched 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a little
but
different.
like you said, you gotta just understand what's going on and take your time.
Yeah.
And you'll get into the parts that you're like, oh, I get this, I understand this.
Yeah.
Also watching Naked and Afraid, Survivor's Challenge, where they win $150,000. Yeah, I would never be able to survive maybe a day. I could survive a day. Wayne's like, no, you couldn't. We went
camping in cabins that had electricity, and I don't think you would have lasted much more than the 2 days that we were there.
You know what? That's not true. I could survive in the bush, but we're not going to get into that.
Food is the problem. Like, what are you eating?
A squirrel,
Yeah, gosh.
a snake.
Do they have flint to make fires, or do they have to do it themselves?
No, they prepare them. This is in the Australian outback, dude.
But, like, they don't have anything.
No.
Just
And
water.
not even water. There's a pot that you got to start the fire. And
How do you start the fire?
with the
Friction?
Yeah, they give them a fire starter.
They give them flint.
Yes.
Okay, so they have flint.
Yes.
All right.
They're not going to leave them, like some of the challenges they don't, though. Some of the challenges they have to do the
Oh, my gosh.
yeah.
Create friction with
Yup.
two sticks. Oh, my gosh. No.
Straight up Bushman, caveman style.
Yeah, no.
Wayne's like, I'm not doing that.
That was not, I was not going to be one of the hunter-gatherers. Nope. I'm going to stay back at the cave.
Analytics chart.
Make sure that all the women stay safe over here. I've also said I'm the first one dead in a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, am I even going to try?
What?
Just, no. But anyway.
What are you
yeah.
watching?
We've been watching that Better Sister show on Prime.
Okay.
Jessica Biel and I forget the name of the other actress, but it's pretty good. It's like a murder mystery kind of deal, and it's pretty well done. Catching up on that, we just caught up on the last season of *Handmaid's Tale*.
My wife watches
Pretty underwhelming
that.
for me. I
Okay.
was pretty annoyed by the end of the series. It's
I
the
see.
series finale, like the last season.
Oh.
So it ended just like, you've got to be kidding
You're
me.
like, no, this is not the way
We
it's
spent
supposed to end.
so much time in the middle of the season just like doing character stuff and like conversations, and then they had like a ton of action in the second to last and the last one, and then it just like stopped, and you're like, okay, that was dumb.
That was, this is odd. I'm
Yeah.
watching You as well.
You, oh yeah,
That was
Penn Badgley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
he's
wife
good.
started watching the last season of that. I go in and out of that because I can't sit down and watch that. But she'll have it on, and I'll stop by, watch a couple minutes, and be like, "Oh, that's crazy! What? I can't believe that! Oh, girl, he shouldn't have done that." So yeah, that's how I watch You.
Oh man,
That's how I watch You.
yeah, no.
What
You
else?
want to talk about Joe DeCamara and his top 11?
He's my hater of the week, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Joe, come on. And I've talked to him before multiple times, yo. He used to go to the place down here. But yeah, Joe, listen, there's a lot of athletes in Philadelphia. I don't know what the beef is with Jalen. You might not have a beef with Jalen, but to leave him off the top, top 10?
Top 11.
Top 11 Philadelphia athletes, man. Come on, man. You got to do better than that, all right? I'm not looking for no clout. I'm not looking for you to at me, but that's garbage. Remake that list and do better, all right? That was weak.
It's
And that was for clicks.
it's all clickbait. It's all
That was just for,
Yes.
you know, I get it. You're going to say what you need to say, but you know in your soul that ain't right. Like, and we can leave that there.
yeah. And then he and ESP got into it today about Jalen.
About
Yeah.
Jalen again. Yo, they're gonna move the goalposts on Jalen.
Of course,
Wayne.
of course they are.
They're gonna just keep moving the goalposts on him, you know? And I don't know what do you want? Do you want 500 yards, 3 touchdowns and a loss? Or do you want 200, 2 touchdown passes and a rushing touchdown and a win? What do you want? I want wins.
Howard wins too. He's
You
a
know.
winner. He's a winner. He's absolutely a
I
winner.
want wins.
I clowned him for most of last year, even in the playoffs. I mean, the Packers game, the Rams game, not great.
Jeez.
It came down to the defense in those 2 games. Then he took over in the championship game in the Super Bowl.
He did.
So I'll give him his flowers there that he did. I mean, but I don't know. I feel like maybe week 1, as long as they win week 1, I won't be like texting everybody.
You're gonna come out with the
But
Joe
week
Burrow.
2?
If I see you with a Joe Burrow jersey, I'm gonna throw you outside.
Nah, I would never do that.
Okay.
I'll wear other teams' jerseys for other sports, but
I saw you with the skeins.
I put the Skeens one on. I put the Skeens one on
They got busted up.
for that sweep. I was like,
You told me that they were gonna get.
I did.
You said and you were confident. You were like, and I'm like,
getting
nah.
swept.
I'm like, they're not getting
they're
swept.
getting swept. I
And
put on my Paul Skeens jersey.
You were confident. You were like, yo, man, I think they're getting swept. I'm like, why?
My kids were so confused. And I come out of the bedroom with a Pirates jersey, and they both look at me like,
what?
why are you wearing
The
a
other
Pirates
team's jersey?
And I'm like, because he's a great pitcher, and he's gonna beat them today. They're gonna get swept.
Yeah.
They're like, isn't that a bad thing? I said, yeah, normally.
Nah. Wayne, you could stand on that one. I would have. I should have took that bet because we would have won. I would have cleaned
I
up.
got a lot of things going for me this week. I told you to take OKC minus 9.5.
You did. I took that.
I told you the Oilers weren't winning that series.
You did. Can we talk about the Can we talk
parlay.
about the
Yes.
the $270,000 parlay? The order was placed for what? $13.
$13.
And the cash out that was offered was what?
$150.
$150. And I saw that he cashed out for $39.
Okay. But the parlay was the Dodgers win the World
Eagles.
Series. Eagles win the Super Bowl.
Liberty.
New York Liberty win the WNBA Finals.
OKC
wins the NBA Finals.
And Edmonton win the trophy.
Edmonton win the Stanley Cup.
So
he was so close.
He was close.
To that $270,000, but I said he's not. Edmonton's not winning that.
Nah, you said that as well. You were confident in that. You were like,
even after they came back 3-0 in game 2 or 3.
The Saturday game is what is the name of that player that did that? What was
David?
No, the Florida Panther guy on Saturday night that scored those 2 goals. I can't think of his name, and I hate myself.
Marchand, Brad Marchand.
Dude. Yeah. When I saw him go left and right and walk by the defender and look like he just walked into the net, I was like, ooh. Yeah, I don't think,
I can't like that guy. He's a Bruin.
Okay.
He'll always be a Bruin. I hated him as a Bruin, so I'm not going to like him as a Panther.
When you see how fast they can skate with the puck and move, because the other dude looked like he was he just moved.
Yep.
I was like, oh.
That's why hockey's one of my favorite sports to watch live.
Right.
Because you don't realize how fast the game is.
Yeah.
Until you're up close and personally you see it. You're like, they're doing all this on skates.
Nah, I still have. I've never seen a hockey game in person, and one of my friends was like, "Don't waste it on the flyer."
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
I want to go see a hockey game. I've never seen one in person. Me and Wayne might check one out and do a Dane Wayne at the.
There you go.
At the Flyers game.
Don't do that. I like to go up to Reading.
Okay.
And they have an ECHL team there. You can sit on the glass for like $30.
Oh, nice.
So I take my son there.
All right.
And we have a great time.
I'll roll with you, man.
Yeah. It's definitely not as fast, obviously, as
but it's a live hockey game.
It's a live hockey game.
So
you get some weirdos in the stands who are like lifers. You're like, there's let's go Royals. I'm like, really, guys?
And he's had 8 beers.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. It's a cool place to watch,
right?
And you have a lot of everything's cheap, so we have a good time. It's just funny. You're like, okay,
no,
you
don't
drive like an hour that way and get to the actual Flyers if you want to be a real hockey fan.
I feel you.
But anyway,
but no, tickets are a quarter of the price.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
It's a fun environment.
Yeah.
So what else is?
So we got the draft up next.
Yep.
We talked about that a little bit, and we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Oh, I want to touch on one more thing before we sign off. Jamaican Football Federation.
Yes.
I don't like one other. I deal with beer foolishness. When I get me start talk like this, I talk with my hand them. Yeah, man, and I have to do better than that. Monday night.
Yeah. I can't stop.
Yo, a serious thing I thought though still, man. Now, when I can't lose to Guatemala, Jamaican Football Federation, Wayne, reminds me of just always over-promising and just never delivering. Consistently inconsistent all the time. And the last time Jamaica played in the World Cup was 1998. How long ago was that?
27 years.
Jamaica Football Federation, do better than that.
Well said.
All right.
All right. I think you should do the accent all the time.
Lord of mercy.
Do it for every episode.
All right.
My kids keep trying to tell me to do an Irish accent, and I can't do it.
All right.
I mean, I can do it, kind of. But, yeah. Hey,
All right.
that's awesome.
All right. Birds start July 22nd.
Yeah, we'll be back before
Okay.
We'll be back for at least one episode before training camp.
Right. We got some family stuff going on. And like we said, it's summertime starting Friday. Go enjoy your family.
Yep.
Go enjoy your
Jump in
friends.
the pool, get some barbecue going.
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I appreciate you, Wayne. Thank you so much for
You
doing
too,
this
Dane.
with me. Anything you want to leave?
Nope, go Birds.
All right. Go Birds!